Good morning, everyone. Today is Sunday, September the 10th. Here in southeastern Pennsylvania, it is a completely blue sky, and really enjoying that. But I know that down in the Tampa area, in Dunedin, our friend Norm is getting a storm bearing down on him. And our earnest prayers are for the safety of him and his family. Messaged him yesterday. Sounds like he is as prepared as someone can be who is staying around. But still, those are pretty severe winds, and there are things that could happen. So he prayed, asked for prayer that...
Distance 2 miles. Workout total time 29 minutes 20 seconds.
That trees wouldn't fall in the house, and that his roof would stay on. So, and of course, family safety is paramount. Well, this is my second run, and it's... I don't call it a run, it's more like playing around and playing with form, trying different drills. So about a month ago, I went down to West Virginia to the Two Rivers Treads store. And they had a running assessment done, and a few things that were particularly noted. So I'm trying to work on the form. So the first was that bent over too much. And that's just a lifestyle thing where we need to address the things that keep us bent forward all of the time. So I have some stretching exercises such as press-ups to help allow my back to be able to bend or stay straight more easily. I tell you, doing that 6 times a day hurts. I think the aim was to have the hurting area as high up in the back as possible, not down in the lower spots. So it takes effort for sure. The second area was hip tightness. So I do not extend my leg back and run from my glutes. I'm still trying to figure that one out. Morning. Because my hips are stiff. So allow me to go back in full motion, full range so much. So I've got some hip extension exercises to do as well. So I find that working on form takes a lot of concentration. So I think I'll be out here doing more playtime than run time. So what I'm doing right now is I'm running a little until I feel like my form is all messed up. Does not take much time. So the one is to be straight up and down, or at least have a nice line from head, shoulders, hips to ankles. And of course you can't really see that. So the nice thing about this assessment was gentleman Patrick Fore, F-O-R-E, ran in front of me, behind me, beside me, had me run on a treadmill, had me run with shoes on, had me run with bare feet. And so you can notice that my 2 legs are doing 2 different things. And I noticed that. Like where my foot falls on my right foot. And I don't mean just like on the inside or the outside. I mean like in front of me or behind me, it does something different than my left foot. So I'm trying to concentrate on a consistency. So right now, I'm trying to lean forward, keep my footfalls to be similar. Oh, like I feel like my left foot is nice and springy, and my right foot just kind of comes down. Talked about the lower tenderness in my legs that's been there for several years. And he said, well, your calves are well defined, like they're plenty strong, maybe a little too much. So you're doing all of the, you're running from your calves, not your glutes. And it says your glutes are not going to get tired, or at least it's like the second least muscle to get tired. I forget exactly the wording, but I got the point. So there's a couple things I'm working on just to be conscientious of my steps until it can become a habit. I guess that's really what I need to do, is play with it until I get a habit. And that's where the run-walk method is great, because once you start messing up your form, you stop and reset. Now, the other difficult thing I'm trying to do, I'm, for the time being, not paying so much attention to my heart rate as my form, since I'm just back out.
28 minutes, 12 seconds. Distance, 2 miles. Workout average pace, 14 minutes, 5 seconds per mile.
Yes, to mostly concentrate on working with form. Then I will try to work with form and nose breathe. I've been riding my bike nose breathing, so I feel like I can get some good effort up without having to breathe through my mouth. But sometimes I'm panting heavily. Let's see, what other things? I've got weak quads. So you do a one-leg squat test. Yeah, I wobble all over the place. So that could be due to strength around the knee or weakness around the knee and weakness around the ankles. Could be either of those. So I think in that case, the test is the exercise. So keep working on that. What else? Those are the three main, well, those are several things. Anyway, it's learning to get my legs opened up behind me, so that way they are bouncing or springing correctly. Getting the hips nice and mobilized. And yeah, so there's some things. That's what I've been up to. It has been a busy summer with weddings. We just got back from our third wedding. This one just required us to show up. We have one more wedding, but it's local, so we're not going away. We think our cat is happy about that. He was extremely playful this morning. Just didn't want to let anybody alone. So this was the third extended time away. Not terrible, like 3 nights or so. I think it's been the max. Well, no, I guess when we were in Tennessee. So we had a nice time. We've got, let's see, a little back up. July 8th was Wayne and Rebecca's wedding in Lewis, Delaware. Had a wonderful time celebrating with them. And then August 12th in Nashville for Mitchell and Betsy's wedding. I guess everybody calls him Mitch, so I'll have to try to adjust. Lovely meeting Betsy's parents and 3 brothers. Really nice family. And had a great rehearsal dinner where it was more of the program than was the reception. The reception was just receiving people and dancing and eating finger foods, that kind of thing. But I just really enjoyed that time. We were made to feel very welcome, part of the family, part of the community. Betsy's family, beyond her immediate family, don't have any other family really around, cousins, etc., grandparents who could make it. And so the church community and their neighbors are their family, and they really accepted us, brought us into that southern hospitality and friendliness. Very different than out here in Pennsylvania, just different. Pennsylvania people are plenty friendly, but a little closed up too. So, and then the wedding this past weekend was in Ocean City, Maryland. Son of a cousin of my wife's, and we had a nice time out there, and then took some extra time just to ourselves. We dropped Anna off at college the end of August, and so she is adjusting. It is a big adjustment. She's had a lot to adjust to recently. 2 brothers getting married, picking up and leaving her home. So, so she's struggling a little bit right now. I think her struggles are common. So, she hasn't said anything about being homesick, but just she's overwhelmed right now with what the load is and what the demands are. And then the other thing that makes it more difficult is comparing yourself to others. What I want to communicate to her is, and I have to communicate this to myself too, is I am not other people. Other people have gifts. Other people have work ethics. Other people have disciplines that are not the same as mine. And they all start somewhere, but they don't start where you are. You start where you are. And you don't start where they are. And I think that mindset is probably, it's been with her for the last year or so, because she has had very smart friends in high school who excelled in math where she struggled. Of course, she gets an A in AP Calculus BC, but still, it wasn't easy. It didn't come easy for her. She had a close friend who it did come very easy for, and who would help her along. So now she's on her own to figure these things out, and it's feeling a bit overwhelming. She looks at the other art students and sees how talented they are, and she sees other musicians and sees how talented they are, and she just feels inadequate. But it's not fair to compare yourself to all of these others. I think there is a time and place for that, but not obsessively and not to your own detriment. I mean, you want to aspire to be like somebody else. I think that's good. It has to be a healthy aspiration and not lopsided, as we tend to do. All right, so she is away on a yacht somewhere up in New England, enjoying some time away from her phone. I'm getting a couple of hounds coming to greet me. I am parked at the Last Chance Ranch. The reason why I came out here is because I know traffic is extremely light and I can play and do as I please on the road. So, I'm not sure what kind of hounds are there. There's definitely some bloodhound. No, not bloodhound. They've got big beefy fronts. They don't look like pit bulls, though. Yeah, they have a different look, but they have that same very strong chest and forelegs. Anyway, I think I'm doing better walking here than running by these dogs. Hopefully they are within a wireless fence or something. Keep them from roaming into the road. Okay, well, let's do a little more of my experiments here. Yeah, so I'll skip to lift my knees high. I'll gallop to get one leg extended behind me better. These are some of the things, and then just loosening up the body. So anyway, mindful running right now instead of mindless. And again, just out for some playtime, and play can be the best form of training. So that's the way we're looking at it. Well, I need to catch up on Carlos. I think he is in Spain, or on his way to Spain. I think he's mid-stride right now. As I said earlier, Norman, our friend, is hunkering down in Florida, and our prayers are with him for his safety and those of his neighbors, his family. And then Carlos has a new set of podcasts, Your 5 Minutes, YFM. I have not submitted anything yet, and he's already into episode 11.
Workout distance 3 miles. Workout total time 45 minutes 10 seconds.
Yeah, the Last Chance Ranch here is a rescue place. They have all kinds of critters. Horses, pigs, emus, cows, dogs, cats. And suddenly there were cars. Yeah, so I'll probably walk the rest of the way in here. That's what I'm up to. I've not been doing a whole lot of listening. I think I was listening to Norman say much the same when he was submitting for YFM. He's doing more listening, is not really committed to recording so much. So, but every just now and then. I find it hard to just put together a podcast when I'm not doing something. So putting a podcast together while I'm out helps me do a couple things. One, get my thoughts out, and second, to slow down, because of course at a talking pace it's good for the soul. All right, another car coming. I have to figure out which way to go, left or right. I've run here once before, this particular loop, and I think I ran it before barefoot. And there's one road that has loose gravel. And that loose gravel is torture. So, I'll not do that again. Okay, I think I turn right here. Go down a shady road. Saw some guys doing bird in hand yesterday. Nate, Dwayne, Jim, I think, was there too. Suzanne. So good to see you all smiling and looking good together. Especially those bright breeches. Oh my, where do you get such things? And then you coordinate together, Nate and Suzanne. So very good. All right, well, I'm going to wrap this up so I can do more concentrating on what I'm doing below the waist. So we'll catch up to you soon. Good to be back I still have great pain in places that is odd to me. Oh, yeah, one last, that's not a postscript yet, but I read Born to Run some years ago, and then I downloaded the audiobook and started to listen to it yesterday, and he describes his running melody. I thought, oh my gosh, that sounds just like me, my experience, where just all of a sudden, out of the blue, some stabbing pain comes at him. And he saw a couple of podiatrists, well-respected athletic podiatrists, and he just kind of kept moving on until he ran into Dr. Irene Davis, who said, look at your running form. So that's why I'm trying to, I would like to see if I can connect with him some way, just to not really connect, but just maybe get some contact from him about that, saying, hey, I feel like I've experienced something very similar. I'm working on my form right now. What else? So, it's not always easy to get celebrities to respond. It really depends. Especially celebrity doctors. There are some that are easy to get hold of who are responsive, and others not quite so much. And that's a shame. I was really hoping to get some simple questions asked and answered. But yeah, we'll keep moving along. So we'll see if Mr. McDougall would respond that way. It would be great. Just if he could tell me what he discovered. I think he described it in the book. So I'll have to look and see just what that is, look it up, and then see if I can find out how it was ultimately addressed, what kind of things were helpful. So, could have been all form, I don't know. So your form can really mess you up. Lean forward, you're pulling on your back and your spine all the time. Get stiffen up in your hips, and your other muscles have to compensate. So we're all one big chain of systems. I think I've said something like that before. All right, well, from this beautiful 70-degree forecast sunny day in Pennsylvania, prayers for those in Irma's path. I know it's already devastated places along the way to Florida. So Norm said it's going to be bearing down today into tomorrow. So try to get this posted, and you all remember to pray for our friend. Pray for his safety, and cry out to God for him, that he would be merciful. I know Norm would really, really appreciate that. So this is Steve in southern Pennsylvania, southeast. Bidding you all farewell, and we'll talk again.
Time, 44 minutes, 41 seconds. Distance, 3 miles. Workout average pace, 14 minutes, 53 seconds per mile.
There you go, no secrets. All right, so this is Steve, and y'all have a great extra mile, great time running out in this beautiful weather. Take care.